What's up, folks? This is sorry. May the fourth be with you, folks. This is Jasper Fox making yet another YouTube video. Um, in honor of the May the Fourth celebration, I decided to do this. If you can't read it, that's okay. I wrote it in the script, and the same thing where the phrase "May the Fourth" comes from. May the Fourth be with you. It's 10 obscure facts about Star Wars. As you can see, I tried starting it here. Okay, so let's get this started because I don't know how long this is going to take. um, okay, so number 10. George Lucas killed off Chewbacca. The most famous Wookiee died off in the novel called Vector Prime by R.A. Salvatore. Nobody particularly wanted to kill off Chewbacca, but the authors and editors of the Expanded Universe novels wanted to kill off one of the well-known characters because they felt as though nobody was taking the book seriously anymore. So the book editors wrote to Lucas with the list of characters they'd like to be able to kill off, with Luke Skywalker on the top of the list. Why? Lucas wrote back with a list of characters it was not okay to kill off, and Paul Chewie was not on the list. That was one lottery. It was not a good idea to let the Wookiee win. Oh. Okay, so number 9. Ewoks spoke Tibetan. At least sound designer Ben Burtt used Tibetan phrases in the Ewok language. Burtt was inspired by a BBC documentary about the Tibetan, Nepali, and Kalmyk languages. I don't know how to pronounce that. And later interviewed several native Tibetan speakers. So the Ewoks are speaking Tibetan, Nepalese, and a few other bits and pieces. Also, Lando Calrissian's pilot Nien Nub spoke Haya, a Tanzanian dialect. His dialogue was recorded by a Tanzanian exchange student. And the Jawas in the original film spoke Zulu, except that it was altered somewhat and then sped up. That explains it. By the way, Nien Nub was Celestian, in case you're wondering. Oops. Okay, number 8. Jabba's dancing girl reveals more skin than you might realize. Many VHS tapes of Return of the Jedi died to bring you this information. The Twi'lek dancing girl, Ula, has a wardrobe malfunction during her dance sequence to the song Lapti Nek. Read more about that fantastic piece of music here. And during the VHS age, there was much rewinding and freeze framing that confirmed this fact. What's surprising is that reportedly the special editions still preserve this Twi'lek nipple slit. Ooh. Even though George Lucas spent hundreds of person hours changing every other aspect of that scene to create a new Max Rebo band performance around the song Jedi Rocks. In any case, if you want to see the screen grabs of the thrilling Jedi nudity, I am not going to search that. Just so you know, I am actually reading off of the side, so surprise! I literally searched this, so you can find this information yourself as well. Okay, number 7. The director of Captain America created Boba Fett. What? Sure, Uber Star Wars designer Ralph Macquarie, I don't know how to pronounce that either, had some input into the designs for the Mandalorian bounty hunter. He's not Mandalorian, he's a clone. And Jango Fett was from Concord Dawn. He's not Mandalorian either. He just was taught to the Mandalorian ways. But effects whiz Joe Johnston is widely credited with creating the look of Boba Fett's armor. And there are tons of detailed drawings to prove it, plus a video screen test, which you can view here on the site. And since then, Johnston has gone on to become a successful director in his own right, most recently bringing the adventures of Steve Rogers to the screen. Originally, George Lucas planned for Darth Vader to be an intergalactic bounty hunter, but when Darth Vader became a fallen Jedi instead, the crew recycled the bounty hunter concept for Boba Fett. By the way, here's a bonus fact. Lucas considered revealing that Darth Vader and Boba Fett were brothers in the prequels, but decided it was too hokey. Okay, number 6. You can see Boba Fett's face without the helmet in Empire Strikes Back. What? Jeremy Bulloch, who played Boba Fett, also plays another role in ESB, Imperial Lieutenant Shekel. who captures Princess Leia during her attempt to escape on Bespin. Bullock is standing in for the original actor who was unavailable at the last minute. But Bullock's brief role as Shekel was popular enough that he's gained the bigger role in the expanded universe, including being the Imperial officer who shows Darth Vader the disassembled C-3PO, causing the former Anakin Skywalker to experience a flood of nostalgia. Bullock also played another character, Alderaanian pilot Jarmok Colton, in Revenge of the Sith, and he played a couple of roles on classic Doctor Who. I didn't know this. Okay, just so you know, I don't know most of the facts on here. Okay, number 5. Wedge Antilles is Obi-Wan Kenobi's uncle, or at least actor Dennis Lawson, who played Wedge, is Ewan McGregor's uncle. Oh! Wedge is also the only background character to survive all 3 major battles in the original trilogy, Yavin, Hoth, and Endor. Okay, number 4. Greedo was a woman. Huh. At least in some scenes. The costume for Greedo, the alien bounty hunter who gets shot by Han Solo, was worn by 2 different actors, depending on the country where the filming was done. In the UK scenes, Greedo was Paul Blake. In the US scenes, Greedo was a Canadian actor, Maria de Aragon. In an interview, Blake describes Greedo, the most inept assassin in the universe, and the Steve Buscemi, or Buscemi, of assassins, with Steve Martin overtones. Ouch. Blake also says he owns a Han Short First t-shirt. I love that fact. Okay, bonus fact. Lightsaber injuries don't always cauterize wounds. Just ask the Wampa or the patrons of the cantina. True. Okay, number 3. The cheapest set in Empire Strikes Back. The interior of the space slug, otherwise known as the Exogorth. The slug is ridiculously simple on the inside. The entire set consists of the black visqueen plastic laid down on the floor of the studio, black curtains behind the Millennium Falcon, and a dry ice fog machine. Apparently there's a source. I'm not going to read it because honestly I can't. It's so garbled I can't really see it. Number 2. If George Lucas had sorry, it's allergy season, so my sinus has stopped up. If George Lucas had directed Apocalypse Now, he might have skipped Star Wars. You might have known that George Lucas was originally in line to direct Apocalypse Now, which wound up being directed by his friend and mentor Francis Ford Coppola. But in 1981, Lucas hinted to Star-Lord magazine that he might have never done Star Wars if he'd gotten to do the Vietnam movie, said Lucas. Here's a little thing he said. My second project was Apocalypse Now, which John Milius and I had been working on in school, and we got a deal with Francis to develop the project. So I said, this is great. I love John Milius, and he's a great writer. I was going to get a great screenplay, and I wasn't going to have to write it. Lucas might have gotten his war movie Jones out of his system without even venturing into space. There's a source here too. Oh, and speaking of Francis Ford Coppola, you probably already knew that director Sofia Coppola plays one of Padme's maids in Phantom Menace, named Sashay, along with a young lady, Keira Knightley? That I did not know. I did not know Keira Knightley was in that movie. But for those of you who don't know, Keira Knightley was in other movies. She was in Bend It Like Beckham, and she was also in the Pirates of the Caribbean series. I'm just saying this in case you didn't know. Okay, now number 1. Han Solo was originally a green-skinned alien with gills. He would have been an undercover operative instead of a smuggler and an all-around rogue. Apparently this version of Han went beyond early drafts, where he only had a minor role, because at least at one point, Lucas was considered making green-skinned Gilly Han into Luke and Leia's friend for much of the film, says Lucas. Says Lucas here. Han Solo did not start out as a monster or a strange alien character, but I finally settled on him being human so that there'd be more relationship between Luke, Leia, and Han. That's where Chewbacca came in. as the kind of alien sidekick. And Chewbacca was originally inspired by Lucas's dog, an Alaskan Malamute, although the word Wookiee actually appears in Lucas's first film, THX-1138, in the ad, in the ad-lib line, I think I just ran over a Wookiee. And that line of dialogue, in turn, was inspired by a real person, a guy named Ralph Wookiee, who lived in Texas. There's a source also. By the way, here's an additional fact I'm going to add on here because I have time. It's not stated on here, but I'm just going to say this. For those of you who remember the THX-1138, that's also the cell block 1138 that they mentioned in the original movie. Now, where are you taking this thing? Prisoner cell. THX-1138? You know? I did not realize that was a movie. Also, for those of you who don't know further, apparently Chewbacca's voice was based off of a dog's. So not only was Chewbacca or the Wookiee race inspired by a dog, it was also voiced by a dog. So all those growls, all those sounds that the Wookiees make, that's actually from a dog. Again, this is for those of you who don't know. If you do know, you don't have to comment. You're going to say, I know this, Jasper. Why are you saying this? Like, I'm just making this video. You don't have to complain. So, yeah, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. I do hope you appreciated this video. You can like, you can comment, you can share this video if you want. You can subscribe to my channel or search my channel to find more videos like this, possibly. And I'll get back to you more gameplays, blogs, songs, things like that. Yeah, I can't think of anything else to do. So, anyways, that's all I got. Thanks so much. May the 4th be with you. To all of you Star Wars fans out there, celebrate Star Wars in any way you wish. Anyways, this is Jasper Fox signing out. Bye, guys. Sorry.